Welcome to the Sanity TLDR for Taloc Heroic. In this video we will cover the main mechanics and ways that the guild plans to deal with them. This footage was gathered during the raid testing which was conducted on the 4th of May 2018, so details within this video are subject to change. Taloc Heroic is a two-phase encounter with an intermission phase. There is no class requirements for stacking anything to cheese any mechanics, so feel free to bring any setup. To start the encounter you will want to split the room into 3 sections. This is so that the players inflicted with plasma discharge are able to move away from the group, dropping their bloodstorm in a clumped up area so that the tank will have an easier job clearing the room. Taking a closer look at the plasma discharge mechanic. This is a debuff that is inflicted upon players. Periodically these players will drop a circle around them called bloodstorm. Any morons that decide to stand in the bloodstorm will take damage, so it's advisable for the person that is dropping the bloodstorms not to drop them on the group and not stand in their own bloodstorm. It's also important to note that this is going to be the soft enrage for this boss, because if you ook all over the room, then the tank will not be able to clear the room and thus you will run out of space. So please you monkeys learn how to stutter step. The second ability that the DPS or healers need to look out for is Sanguine Static. The boss will turn and target a player and start to cast. Once the cast is completed, blood shards will shoot from the boss in a cone direction. All you need to do is dodge the shards. On beta, this was a bit tougher because the small indie company couldn't get the textures right. However, when completing the mythic testing, it appears that the texture has been filled in, so it's much easier to dodge. The mechanic the tanks need to look out for is Cudgel of Gore. What this mechanic does is turn you into a maid. Your job throughout this fight is to clean up after the raid. To do this, what you will do is when you're targeted by this ability, you will run into a big group of bloodstorms and then wait for the boss to charge you. Once the boss reaches you, it will deal massive raid damage and soak up all the bloodstorms within 15 yards of the impact area. It's also important to note that the raid damage is reduced by the distance you are from the boss. This is why we separate the room into 3. We have the melee and tank stacking on one. We then have the range moving between each side dependent upon whereabouts the tank is going to smash. Upon reaching 60%, the boss will go into its transition phase. He will start to cast power down. This will cause the floor to descend and 2 types of adds will start to spawn. The first add that we will look at is the volatile droplet. These adds are non-tankable as they fixate onto a player and if they reach them they will explode. So please don't let them reach you. Range team, you're mainly the ones that are going to be responsible for killing these adds. You are able to knock these adds back, so that means Ring of Pieces, Typhoons, all them sort of abilities work. The second add is Coalesced Blood. This one is tankable, so tanks, do your job and get these adds under control. What is special about this add is that it will continuously drop bloodstorms. So all you need to do is make sure that the melee are able to hit this add, and make sure that you kite the add so that it doesn't fill up the room. After 90 seconds, you will reach Thaloc's mum's basement, and phase 2 will begin. This phase is exactly the same as the first one, with all the same mechanics, so the players that get inflicted by plasma discharge move away from the group in the same way that they did in phase 1, and we just jump between the 2 markers. Obviously you want to be dodging all the same shit, and not monkeying around with the placement of the blood, and have a competent tank that can actually clear. You shouldn't run out of space unless your DPS are potato, but just to be safe, get yourself up a few people that want to chase logs.
Okay, fuck this, you're so fucking retarded.
A TLDR for phase 1 and phase 2. Move away from the group if you are infected by plasma discharge so that you can drop your bloodstorm in a non-monkey-like fashion so that the tanks can clean the room. Don't get hit by the cone. Don't be hooking the tank when he runs out with the Cudgel of Gore. Transition phase. There are 2 types of adds, one of which can be tanked, which the melee should be dealing with. The other type of add will focus onto people. If it reaches them, they will explode. Range, you deal with these ones. Remember, this add can be knocked. Good luck, have fun on progressing this boss.